Melrose were trying to get into two finals in the space of 3 days at the start of April. On Saturday the 3rd, they faced Curry in the semi-final of the Scottish Hydro Premier Cup. They scored 4 tries in all, with the crucial first coming from James King to put his side in at the break, 10-3 up. Curry had only lost 1 game all season and had beaten Melrose in both games in the league, so they were probably favourites to win this one. But just after the break, King struck again. Callum Anderson also got on the score sheet 2 minutes later, and the impeccable boot of Scott White didn't miss in 5 attempts at goal. Although Curry came back with a try before the hour, it was to be their only one of the day, and Scott McCormack sealed things up with a cheeky try of his own to send Melrose to Murrayfield for the 3rd year running. Fast forward 3 days and a wet and gloomy Netherdale was the venue for their 4th and final match in Pool B of the Radio Borders Border League. Graham Dodds was chosen as captain for the night, and their task was to beat GALA to take their place in the final. But GALA, who'd lost their opening game against Peebles, were out to spoil the party, with Peter Palapoi, their big Samoan international, leading his team out onto the pitch. Melrose have been throwing the ball about all season, and they weren't going to change tactics for this game, but this long pass from Bruce Dick to Alan Dodds was just a little over-ambitious. GALA ply their trade in the 2nd division of the Premiership, but they certainly weren't overawed by their Premier 1 neighbours, and early on they tested the Melrose defence with some good work by the forwards. With Melrose trying to get the ball back illegally, GALA were handed their first scoring opportunity. Graham Spears had no problem slotting the kick, and it was the Maroons who went in front on just 4 minutes. GALA have the best defensive record of all teams in the Borders, and the boys in black and yellow were keen to penetrate that defence early on in the game with a series of thrusts towards the GALA try line. They were lining up to have a go, but coach George Graham would have been more than satisfied with his team's display, making sure that the door remained firmly shut. The ball was nudged forward and the immediate danger had gone. Former GALA fullback Fraser Thompson was back at his old hunting ground and was, as usual, prepared to run the ball. But GALA gave away a penalty, and Bruce Dick, another former Maroon, slotted the penalty to square the game at 3-3. The front row confrontation was always going to be interesting to watch. Cooney, Gibson and Higgins for Melrose against Lang, Christie and Hughes for GALA. And of course one of Melrose's players of the season is number 8 Ross Miller. Here he goes on one of his trademark breaks. But on this occasion he was well marked and ended up giving away a penalty for not releasing. Just before half-time, Gibson threw in to John DL, a clean feed to Rob Christie and a clever kick ahead, chased by Craig Jackson. The ball went loose, Callum Anderson hacked on, and Bruce Dick went on a foot race with GALA's Scott Chapman, but it was Chapman who got there first. Melrose was still putting relentless pressure on GALA as the rain poured down, and despite the conditions, this was a very good move from the backs. Anderson with Thompson outside him and what should have been the scoring pass to Alan Dodds, but Alan Emond put in a try-saving tackle to once again deny Melrose. Still they came forward, and in almost a repeat of the move a few minutes earlier, they had another chance to score. Christie and Dick, then Thompson, but this time the pass went astray, much to the amusement of the GALA crowd. So 3 apiece at the break, and you can see the rain was going to play its part again in the final 40 minutes. GALA had the first chance of the second half when Melrose obstructed and a double penalty was awarded. Up stepped Graham Spears to put the Maroons in front by 6 points to 3. Plenty of opportunities came the way of the visitors, and the pack still fancied their chances to break through the GALA defence. Ross Miller had another go near the GALA line. John DL was next up, but once again there was no way through, and the ball was held up to deny Melrose from crossing the line. The scrum was reset, and here's another chance for Ross Miller at the back. But again, GALA stood firm, so Rob Christie decided to use the backs this time. A long pass out to Bruce Dick. In came Callum Anderson on the angle, and finally Melrose got the try. It put Melrose into the lead for the first time, and with Bruce Dick adding the extras, it was 10-6. As you'd expect in a local derby like this, plenty of passion and commitment from all the players, but despite that there was just the one yellow card dished out on the night by referee Cammy Rudkin. And this was the incident, GALA's Bruce Rennie being a little too over-enthusiastic as he tried to get the ball back. It was very sticky out there, but that didn't stop attempts at running rugby, and this was one of GALA's best efforts. Greg Marks slipping the ball to Lee Miller, but the kick ahead was just a little bit too far. The Maroons were looking a little tired as we got into the final stages, and the defence came under even more pressure. It was a matter of time before Melrose would wrap up the game, and this excellent rolling maul finally wore down the opposition, and underneath the bodies was John Dalziel, who got his 8th try in a Melrose jersey this season and put Melrose into the final of the Border League. Graham Dodds collected the Waverley Cup to give Melrose their first piece of silverware of the year.
You know, at the end, all said and done, I think Melrose deserved to win. I think they played a lot more control rugby than we did. We had a fair bit of possession, probably not as much territory because obviously Melrose were putting us under pressure a lot. But certainly we didn't control our set piece ball as much as what we should have done. I thought Andy McLean had a torrid time today with the service that he was being delivered, and that just all comes from the forwards not producing good ball for him. And obviously the conditions are not conducive to giving them terrible ball. So yeah, disappointed, but at the same time pleased with the commitment and the dedication that the players have showed, and not in this game, but certainly in games gone past, and obviously the game we played at here. I think it's just we're going in the right direction.
We knew how much they'd be up for it, and the conditions didn't really help the flow of a game, but we still try to play rugby, sometimes in the wrong places at the wrong times, but it's just the way we try and play, and it's a decision-making process that the guys have got to go through to improve. But no, we got the result we came for. We had to play the game. It was a important game to win. Obviously, it's a local derby for the old bragging rights. So yeah, we've come away and we're more than happy. We've put 1 or 2 guys in there tonight. Bloody 1 or 2 youngsters. Bruce Dick and Luke Petty played tonight again. So no, delighted for them to come back to their old stomping ground and get a good result.
Of course, GALA have been very impressive in the defence department all season, and it took a while to break them down.
Yeah, it did. There's a few illegalities going on in there. I mean, it was some of the hands in the rocks and stuff was unbelievable, I thought, tonight. But hey, our guys, to be fair to them, they stood up to it and they got on with the job, and they got their rewards. And GALA was very, very stuffy, but I just thought that the extra ability and power that our guys have got told in the end, and I think it was I said before, it's always a tough one backing up after such a big result the weekend. But fair credit, we lost that game last year in those conditions, but mentally we're stronger this year, and hopefully we can go into the final, whoever it may be against, and win it.